I'm going to try to do more than a short. We'll see. The mailman came. Because there's a lot of, things I want to discuss. But I read on it. Well, he backed up, which means that could be possibly him. So give me a minute to look. You know. Okay, so I think it's him. Okay, let's go over a few things that I read today. One, a lot of people that are supporting Trump and supporting the Republican Party are trying to say that the Democrats are evil and they need to be stomped out and we wouldn't have a Congress if we didn't have more than one party. Just like with, England. They have Whigs and Tories, okay? That's like our Democrat and Republican Party. Then you got the, Independent, the Green Party, and the Liberal Party, and there is a party that has liberals in it only. But, everybody is, because they believe differently, Okay. During the Civil War, or war between the states, if you want to put it that way. Okay. What as Democrat and Republican, it was the Republicans were the Democrats and the Democrats were the Republicans. Now it's switched over. Now it's, the way it is. I don't care what party you're a part of, as long as, you're true to yourself. You can be Democrat, Republican, Liberal, Independent, Green, or whatever other party there is. And you're, in this country, allowed to be it. But to say one party needs to be, stopped, that ain't right either. So that's one point I'd seen, and I'm getting some of these ideas from Thread, by the way. And then there's some saying about the Catholic religion is demonized, and it's a cult, and it's not a cult. It's as old as Christianity itself. It's part of the patchwork we call Christianity. I mean, you got your Lutherans, you got your Baptists, you got your Pentecostals, you got any other form of Christian type religion, and Catholics are among them. And I'm really sick and tired of people saying that below, because Catholics do just as much, for the public as regular Christian churches do. They teach almost the same thing. The only thing that they pull in, because of one, it's not really a prayer, it's a plea to, Jesus' mother to intervene for us on, for our prayers. It has nothing to do with worshiping her. And I get a little tired of that too. Because we don't worship her, okay? We don't worship the saints. We worship God. We, in a way, worship Jesus too, because he's God's son, but we don't, we have statues of him in our churches and stuff like that. And so he's part of it. And this royal family thing, come on. They weren't rich, royal people. She was the Blessed Virgin. She was blessed by God to conceive, where Jesus was conceived. So she was blessed. But let me tell you, they didn't take care of her. They didn't appreciate her back then. The people of the village she lived in, they in fact tried to kill her over claiming she had an adulterous affair. They didn't believe that she was carrying God's son, so they tried to stone her to death. They treated her as an outcast. Joseph wasn't going to marry her. Joseph was going to just walk away from her until he was enlightened by an angel or something. I can't remember what angel it was. But that's how that happened. And him having brothers and sisters, I really don't know. But according to what I've been taught, he was the only child in that family, okay? John the Baptist was his mother's cousin's child. So there goes that, See, the Bible has been, changing ever since it was written. There's been changes to, to the people that are reading it, to their observance. So that's why you believe all that stuff. There is no proof he had brothers and sisters. He may have. I'm not going to count that as a not, but from what I was taught, she never had any children after having him. So that's one point. Everybody has their, decision. And I'm not really religious. I'm a bad Catholic. I mean, if I was a good Catholic, I'd be going to Mass every day. Going to confession every Saturday. But I haven't been to confession, oh my gosh. I think when I had confirmation. And it wasn't really that I did anything bad. It's just part of it. I wasn't, I didn't get into trouble back then. It's only I think it was 18 maybe when I was confirmed. I had a regular First Holy Communion when I was 10, and that was in 71. That was 55 years ago. And like I said, I got confirmed. And that's as far as it went. Now, as to going and, into confession, I haven't. I think they made me do it when I was going to get confirmed. I was only 17, 18 years old when it happened, so. And that's what I don't get, all this hatred. And this is the 21st century. We should be accepting everybody. I don't like the president we have. That doesn't mean that I would talk to him disrespectful, because I wouldn't. I don't like him. I would prefer not being around him. But, like I said, I wouldn't be impolite to him either, because that's the way I was brought up. And item number 2, or another thing going around on the Facebook. This one came from Facebook, that they have to decommission the new Air Force One and go back to the old Air Force One. I mean, I think all they need to do is change the paint job. Put it to the, what the Air Force One is supposed to look like. To the light blue and everything. And they might be but see, this is my opinion on that. Why he's going to do that is because that plane wasn't given to the people of the United States. It was given to him personally. So he's probably going to change the chip paint job and make it into a Trump plane, where it says Trump on it. I always thought that the plane was just given to him, but you know how people are sometimes. Rich people do that. And I'm not I'm talking about old rich. You know, that man didn't make his own million. He stole from other people's businesses and buildings, and he did pretty nasty to some of these corporates that went out of business. It was because he did it, but maybe that's how his father earned their money. It's because of that. And that's how multi-million CEOs do things, I guess. But let's stop talking about him. I mean, and then also, I looked it up. All these states that agreed to the ban on sodas and candy, they should have looked more into the sugar content and everything else, because I just purchased donuts, which is more sugary than even the soda. So I don't understand that, and it was overturned. But the states that are mostly supportive of Trump aren't going to change it to where you can. So it's still banned in the state of Texas. Which, I don't understand. Why do people have to tell us what to do? Everybody was complaining about people on food stamps buying shrimp and buying lobster and buying octopus, whatever, all those, things that rich people buy. But instead of banning that, they're banning something that costs less than $20 per. So I don't think it's fair. I think they need to officially overturn that, because it does state on the internet that it was overturned. It's just certain states that follow Trump and his beliefs, which means like Texas. Okay, I gotta cut this off. He's coming back up. All right, thanks for watching. Hope everybody has a good day. Ow. Fuck, that hurt. Sorry.